Hello, and thank you for signing up to take this course, How to Discover Your Sweet Spot, the ultimate guide to discovering your sweet spot. Four-step guide. My name is Noruwa Edokpolo. I am a business startup consultant. I help entrepreneurs take those first tentative steps in starting their own businesses. They gain clarity, they avoid frustrations, they define and create viable businesses. So we're going to be talking about
what is a sweet spot? What do we mean by sweet spot? It's any place that is optimal for obtaining a certain desirable effect or result. There's a place where, the different variables seem to have almost near perfect agreement. And bingo, at that point, we call it your sweet spot. Originally, this word sweet spot took its, if you like, from the sports arena. I checked up the Wikipedia and it defined it as the point or place, the point or area on a bat, a club, a racket at which it makes most effective contact with the ball. That is the sweet spot. Of course, in my research, I discovered that, there are a few more definitions of sweet spot which are beyond the scope of this study. Have you heard of this Japanese word called Ikigai? Ikigai, I must confess, it's going to be a bit of a tongue twister for me. It's a Japanese concept that means a reason for being, having a direction or purpose in life. As you can see from this chart in front of you, there's an overlap of what you love, your passion, what the world needs, your mission, what you're good at, your vocation, and what you could get paid for, your profession. The sweet spot, the Ikigai, is that point at which all of these things intersect. There's an overlap, a deliberate overlap. But take note of something before we even go further. What you love, what you're good at, that's your passion. All right? I mean, you love it, you're good at it, the world needs it, nobody's willing to pay for it, you might just end up with a very expensive hobby. What you're good at, what you can be paid for, is your profession. Now, you may not, be excited about it, but it pays the bills. And there are many, many people who are in that place where it's just because it pays the bill. That's why they're there. Okay? Then you have what the world needs and what you love. That's your mission. And then you have what the world needs and what you get paid for. That's your vocation. The exact overlap of all of this, your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation, is what we call the Ikigai. All right? And that's that very interesting spot. So the purpose of this mini course is to help you to discover your sweet spot or your Ikigai. So we start off by looking at what you're good at. All right? Sports, name it. Doctor, medicine, you want to be a doctor, a pharmacist, you're an artist, whatever it is, all right? Whatever it is, I mean, it's absolutely irrelevant to me what it is, so long as it's something that you're good at, either because you have the innate skill, you've learned it, you've studied it, you have experience in it, but the summary is that there is that thing or a couple of things that you are good at. Now, as is going to happen for the next series, I'm going to be asking you questions. I'd like you to pause and, so don't be in a hurry, okay? Take your time to go through this session. I'd like you to pause. I'd like you to consider the questions I'm asking and then write down your answers. Really, if I were to ask, I would say, write down your answers. Don't even type it, write it. There's something about writing, okay? So my first question, when we're looking at, what are you good at, is what are your strengths? Okay, so for me, for example, my answer is very easy. My strengths, I can communicate effectively. I'm good with planning and strategy, and I could go on and on. So what are your strengths? Okay, what are your talents? What are those things? And sometimes your answers will overlap. Okay, so I communicate effectively. I'm a good orator. Is that a talent? Is it a strength? Just write it. I mean, it's there. It's come up, not once, not twice. What have you been praised for at certain jobs in the past? Okay? I mean, think back. Like I always say, these questions are not questions you imagine the answers for. You just do an audit, do a self-audit, all right? What have you been praised for at certain jobs in the past? What have you always been known to be good at? Everybody says, oh, if you want to get a party done well, talk to James. Everybody says, listen, if you want to get that food made near perfect, talk to Mike. Everybody says, if you know somebody who's going to help you sort out your finances, etc., talk to Jane. Okay, stuff like that. Everybody knows what you're good at. So what are you good at? All right. So you say what comes easy to you might be difficult for others. Okay. So for somebody like me, for example, you can wake me up, give me a topic, and I can go straight into it and give a fairly decent, presentation, almost on, in a wide variety of subject matters. That's the truth, but that's not easy for everybody. And there are things that, for example, give me 1 year to learn to sing, a song, forget it. 1 year after, I will still not get the right key. So, there are some things that come easy for me, some things are difficult, but for you, what are those things that come easy? And then, of course, we talk about money, okay? Unless you've already made money or you don't have to work for money. The truth is, for many of us, one of the reasons why we are trying to discover our sweet spot is so we can leverage on it to break away from poverty and insufficiency, to become wealthy. And hopefully when you become wealthy, you can then also, you can impact the community and the society for the better. All right. So let's look at the questions here. What have you been paid for in the past? So I've been paid to speak. I've been paid to train. I've been paid to coach. I've been paid to facilitate. I've been paid to do research. So what have you been paid for in the past? What are you being paid for right now? So I'm being paid to teach. I'm being paid to coach. I'm being paid to mentor. I'm being paid to, so how is it for you? What are you being paid for right now? What are other people being paid for that you could do as well? That's another indication. What is it that somebody else is being paid for right now? I remember for many years, I used to just speak for the fun of it until I discovered that, hey, people are being paid to speak. Here I am now with an online program for you, all right? People are being paid to do this. Of course, I also have paid programs. I hope that after you finish the free course, you can go on to look at the other courses that I have, and then you can decide on which one you'd like to, pay for, okay? And then what would you pay others to do? Sometimes that's an indication. You pay people to fix your parties for you, and you end up, telling them what to do at every point of the way. Why don't you become an event manager yourself? You're doing a good job of it for yourself now, aren't you? What would your dream job be? If you had no hindrance, no limitation, nothing was stopping you, how would you describe your dream job? What would it look like? Where would you be working? How much would you be earning? What would you be doing? What would a typical day look like for you in that dream job? Go ahead and write something. Take your time, like I keep saying. There's no need to rush this. Take your time. Next, we move to the next one. Here we're talking about your passion, all right? The passion. What are you passionate about? What are those things that are really, really, you're passionate about them? Let's look at them together, okay? Now, what would you do for free and be happy doing it? All right? Nobody's paying you for it. You just like it. I could talk for free. Here I am giving you a free online course because I love to do this. I love to see people get better. I love to see people improve. I love to see people discover themselves, and begin to, aspire to greatness. I love it. All right? And what are you passionate about? What are those things that really, really, resonate with you? What are you passionate about? What makes you smile? Okay? What makes you smile? And of course, what makes you cry? Sometimes inside of these questions, you begin to discover those things that you're passionate about. Like I said, don't be in a hurry to answer these questions. Spend time, make sure you're in a quiet place, it's cool. Maybe have some music playing in the background so you can really, really focus and deal with each of these matters one after the other. All right? So please write something down. I expect that for every question I've asked you, you have written something down as your answer, because those answers are the raw materials that we're going to use to discover your sweet. We have it. You've gone through the series of questions. And now I'd like you to take the worksheet. If you haven't downloaded it, please do so now. Now, I want you to see what is overlapping. Go back and, look at the different, areas, your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession, and try to see the commonalities and bring them out and fill them into that worksheet. Take a moment to scan through each of them and then highlight, take a look at what are the common things. What's that thing that is common in each of these words? All right. Do you notice a few things that align really well? Yeah, I can understand that. It's a moment of discovery, isn't it? Yes, there you are. That's your sweet spot. That's your Ikigai. You got it. Okay, you got it. Now the question is, what happens after now? All right. A couple of things I can suggest. For one, you can go ahead and, look at my coaching services. I'll be glad to work with you to translate this discovery into something tangible, whether in business or in your, personal life. There could be issues you want to resolve in your personal life or in your business. It will be my delight to work with you to make it happen. I hope you've enjoyed this mini course. I'd like you to please recommend it to your friends and family. And like I said, please look at the other courses that we have and, just take anyone that's of interest to you and sign up. Thank you so very much. I hope I see you again soon. God bless you.